Hi guys. Well, it's a beautiful day. It finally stopped raining. It's April in Wisconsin, of course, so weather's good one day, it's really crappy the next. But today we got a decent one. It's really sunny, just a little bit windy. So today, a few days ago, maybe it was almost a week ago, I hung my Ford badges, my blue ovals, because I have one in the back, one in the front. There's my rear. And then I also hung my EXP badge there. So, what's to know? Okay, well, if you're replacing these, that is the same oval that they used on foxbody Mustangs and the earlier Crown Vics, the 1991 era, if that means anything to you. But so they say. I know for a fact that this is what they put on Mustangs. Does it fit on Crown Vics like they say? I'm not the one to tell you. I don't have any of those cars. But I do have a Mustang at school, and that's how I found out about this. I thought, you know what? For the heck of it, I'll measure the blue oval on the SVO that the school owns. So measured it. Same dimensions as the front and rear is supposed to be. So that was sweet. I'll include the part number in the description. As for the EXP badge, you'll have to dig around for these guys on eBay. I'm slowly working on a way to 3D print these. I also have a friend who's also working on 3D printing these. They'll come sometime soon, but just know that these are hard to find, so try not to lose them. So with these Ford badges, here's the deal. For the fronts, you can see that they have 3 pins, 3 nubs that they use to mount the oval. So this is supposed to have a clear piece of plastic in it. You probably saw it in my other video when I was painting up the EXP badge of my car. But the clear piece, I lost it. I tried doing a clear restoration on it, where you put like I think it's hydrogen peroxide, I believe. You put that on the plastic lens, let it set out in the sun. Well, I'm at school for over 9 hours a day, sadly, so I put some stuff on the clear coat of that lens, and I put it on my bumper, and later that day I forgot it was on my bumper, so I lost it, but I still had the bottom. But the clear lens is gone forever, so I sucked it up. I bought the blue ovals. They were $22 each, I think. So between the two of them, I got $45 into them. But they look nice. Blue is slightly off. They come darker. If you know your Fords, this is like the 2006 and newer blue, which is pretty dark, and then this is the old light blue, which matches the valve cover in most tractors. But anyway, back to the mounting tabs. There's 3 of these guys, and these 3 stubs, these tabs, all 3 of them go into the nose cone. And then on the back side, you can see that they use these what are called pan nuts. They're just steel stamped into the nuts, and there's just 2 of them that hold it into place. But these, the Mustang ones, the 3 tabs fit perfectly in the holes for the front, which is fine. But if we go to the rear of the car has 3 holes in the trunk. But they're not oriented like this. If I set this down, you can see that the center peg is close to the center. It's almost perfectly center, about where my finger is center. But it's just off a little bit. On the deck lid, this middle tab is even closer to one of the 2 sides. I can't remember which, but it's pretty far off. And the holes in the deck lid are smaller than even the posts for the front badge can fit in. And they don't run any nuts through any of these because you don't have access to this from inside the trunk. this just goes into the empty cavity that the wiring goes for your trunk release, so you have no way of getting in there. But anyhow, if this goes away, it's pretty easy because, like I said, there's no nuts on the backside. But if it goes away forever. So I've never known what these guys look like until I pop one off one of my other cars sometime in the future. But what I had to do was I had to cut off the 3 posts that I got on these 2 new badges. I thought, you know what, I'll just do them both, because then I make sure that both are positioned exactly the way I want. You know, because I painted over both sides, so the holes are a little deformed. They're not only a little bit smaller than they are, a couple of the holes are now a little bit more oval shaped than what they were before. But I did that, and after I made the flat side completely flat, got rid of the mounting pegs, the studs, I put some 3M adhesive on it. It's a 2-sided adhesive. It's I'd say foam, but it's more of a gel. It's a 2-sided strip of gel. I just put a strip across the center of it, cut off the extra so you don't see it. Then I peeled the red backing off it and stuck it onto my car. And so you can see that there's a little bit of a gap between the badge and the body, and that's no problem. And I filled up all 3 of my holes so no water can get in there. And the stuff is pretty much forever. It'll only come off if you take a razor to it and peel it off. I did the same with the EXP badge. I put a little blob behind the P and a bigger blob behind the E, and then just pressed it in. Fit real good. But like I said, if you'll more than likely have to cut these posts off. So that means you need to be really careful with your positioning to make sure that wherever you put your oval, it covers up those 3 holes. With the EXP badge, it's supposed to be about in this general vicinity. On the car I measured it from, it's like it was X many inches from my lock. I think it was like 21 3/4 or 23 1/4, I can't remember, something like that. And then it sits only half an inch up from the bottom of the deck lid, and it doesn't look perfect, you know, because the Ford one is almost in the center, but over here the EXP is lower. Well, that's because some of them had 5 speeds, so then there would be a 5-speed badge over it. So that's why they did that. And then with the front's pretty easy, because like I said, you could either use the alignment holes or go without. I went without. What's nice with the front cone is that they cast in an oval inside the cone, and when you get it on, don't think that the badges are on. The badge is right. It's just all these nose cones. They make the oval a little bit taller than they ought to be, and not as wide as they should be. So if you have your original oval, guarantee it looks a lot like this. But that's about it for now. We'll leave it at that. Hopefully you guys make yours look as good as mine does, or better.